Atua, te mana haleluya. Ihi ke mai te maunga tapu ki te iwi. Hapaitia te ingo awiu. Whakapai, whakapainya, whakamuemititia. Te atua, tapu o ngā tapu. I matenei ai hue te kingi nui. Te atua, tapu o ngā tapu. Ki a ihu te korori a te honore. Te atua, te mana haleluya. Ihe ke mai te maunga tapu ki te iwi. Hapaitia te ingo awiu. Whakapai, whakapainga, whakamuemititia. Te atua, tapu o ngā tapu. I matenei ai hue te kingi nui. I matenei ai hue te kingi nui.
Tu atua tō mātou ki hanga ki Tapu te maramatanga me tō oe I a kupu kōrero ka tama a maha ki mā te tiko me te arawa me te ki a utungo ki a mātou tō arawa I roto I te tēnai hui nā waka ki a mātou wakaro I a mātou mahi kato I tō wairua tapu. Amen.
Amen.
God, our Creator, when you speak, it's light in life. When you act, it sets it in lap. Grant that your lap might be bitten in our meeting, so that what we say and what we do might be filled with your Holy Spirit.
Amen. Kia ora. Ko te amorangi ki mua, te hāpai o ki muri. E hara taku tō I te toa takitahi. Engari he toa takitene. Whatu ngaro ngaro te tangata toi tū te whenua. Ko te reo reo a kea ki uta. Ko te whakataki mai a toroa ki tai. He kōtuku ki te raki. He kāka pō ki te whenua. Tihe Māori ora. Leading from the back will make it right in the front. Success is not the work of one, but of many. As people disappear from sight, the land will always remain. The voice of the care is heard inland, and the cry of the albatross is heard at sea. A kōtuku in the sky, a kakapo on the ground. Kia ora mai koutou katoa. Ngā mihi mahana ki a koutou katoa. Ki te atua, tēnā koe. Kia papatuanuku, tēnā koe. Ki te whare nei, tēnā koe. Ki te hunga mate, moi mai rā. Ki te hunga ora, nau mai, haere mai. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, kia ora mai tātou. Wellness and warm greetings to you all. To God, tēnā koe. And to Mother Earth, tēnā kōrua. To the house, ka mihi. To the dead, rest. And to the living, welcome. Therefore, greetings to us all. These decorations that you see in front of you, I'll start with the Rakau, or the tree at the back. The tree is located in the Kohi Marama forest down in St Heliers. The Kohi Marama forest belongs to the Melanesian Mission Trust Board, and I was wandering around there recently and took some lovely photos of that forest. We're trying very hard to restore it and bring it back you know, to its native glory, let's say. The decorations themselves, if you're a visitor to the cathedral, you will see a nativity scene in the front of the cathedral in Parnell, put together by rangatahi or our young people in the Nativity Project. And everything there is for regenerate. That's the theme, regenerate. And it's a focus on native plants and native trees. So instead of people donating money, let's say, or kai for pātaka kai like they did last year, this year people are asked to donate native trees. And the last count we had 74, I think. These decorations were part of my creation. I've hand painted them. They are magnolia leaves, all from the magnolia tree. And I've picked them up over many weeks and many months and painted them. And this was always with an eye to not use any tinsel, not use, mind you, personally, I haven't used the tinsel and baubles for many years, but many people do. And I'm trying to discourage people from decorating trees and even buying plastic trees to find something natural. And if you go to the cathedral, you'll see that I have used harakeke flowers. I've strung them together on a number 8 wire and hung all these decorations off them. And so that's the Christmas tree for the Nativity Project at the cathedral for regenerate. Everything on the Christmas tree that I've hung has been handmade from shells, feathers, and leaves. And also a calendar, an old calendar that I had, which had Māori, you know, pages on it. So I cut out the little squares and pasted them to a bit of cardboard and then hung them on the tree. So there are many creative ways that we can do our own Christmas decorations. And here they are with a Māori theme. So it's lovely to share them with you, hanging on the tree from Kohimarama Forest. What's in our kete? Here we are, we've arrived at our last session of the series and our last session for the year. So what's in our kete? What have we done this year? Well, we visited Land of the Long White Cloud, a 7-part series, and so that was 7 weeks of unpacking that. And we also looked at all the Eucharistic liturgies in the New Zealand prayer book, helped of course by Bishop George Connor. We studied the Pauhere and Te Tiriti and all the kōrero and discussions, whakaro, around that. We unpacked kapahaka and learnt more about kapahaka than possibly you ever knew before. It's not just singing, it's much more than just singing. And of course, in our 5th series, we looked and we have discussed your journey with Te Reo Māori, your journey with Te Ao Māori, and your journey with all of these subjects that we have done this year. What I'd like to show you is a little recap video that I've put together. It's a little quiet in some places, so you might need to just adjust your own volume up and down, and whakarongo mai, titiro mai.
Don't blame me, I didn't take the land. I didn't stop the language, it's not my fault.
I still do kind of struggle with the whole Pākehā paralysis kind of thing.
Well, anyway, come on, let's go.
And so we've got short, no macron, as in cup. Egg, as in egg.
Ki mai Māori, ki mai aha, ki mai aha, ki mai aha.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora.
Tēnā koutou whānau.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora.
Ki ora.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koutou katoa.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora koutou, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koutou katoa.
Tēnā koutou.
The thing about broken promises, big or small, is that they won't ever let you go until you do something about them. The church enjoys no immunity from these consequences of promise breaking.
Ahaka mana para tawa ngawha.
We are falling away from our country's roots, culture and tradition. Now, I would like to leave everyone watching this with a wero, a challenge. Give pronouncing Māori words correctly a go. Don't just be a sheep and stick with the crowd. Let's be kāpiti college, not kapiti college. You could start off a chain that helps preserve our wonderful culture and even encourages it to grow. Thank you.
E te whānau a te karaki. Ko tātou nei tōna tinana. E mahi nei I te ao.
We'd begun meeting, and obviously that's the third paragraph of that Eucharist, and we just got to that. And my memory is, and I didn't have a tape recorder, but my memory is that Māori said, "I'm not even sure what this means in English, let alone how I'm going to say it in Māori." And that began a big debate, a wide-ranging debate. We really felt imprisoned by this rule word for word, and we said we need to let the flow of Māori oratory, the flow of Māori poetry, we need to let that be in our translation. So we actually broke out at that point and decided that we would translate the meaning rather than word for word. And so if you notice in your book on the top of page 476, it says the English and Māori are parallels. That is to warn you that it's not necessarily a direct translation.
In our language, we have this word that is very important. You might have heard it before. This word is mana. Everyone in this room has some form of mana. Your mana comes from knowing who you are, where you come from, and your connection to your land. Whenua. Mana grounds you. Mana makes you solid. Mana roots you to your past, present, and future. We don't always have to agree. Mana can be tested, even challenged, but with respect and an understanding of one another's mana.
Kiwa
Tēnā koe, ko Fraser McDiarmid tōku ingoa, no ko te rana o ku tipuna, ke te noho au ki tamaki makaurau. E te atua manaki mai, e te atua awhina mai, e te atua aroha mai.
Before they hung our tipuna mokoboko, he uttered the words, Tango hia te taura I taku kaki, kia waiata au I taku waiata. Tango hia te taura I taku kaki, kia waiata au I taku waiata. Which means, take the noose from around my neck, so that I may sing my song. Therefore, I will adorn myself with the treasures of my ancestors and remove the colonial noose around my neck so that I may sing my song. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
And so they spoke, and the Māori written language was created in their presence and with their approval and with their coverage, their mana. And so what you've got in written Māori, first of all recorded in the Bible and nowhere else, and in Luke's Gospel and in the Lord's Prayer, is the highest possible form of spoken Māori written down. It's like almost as if Shakespeare wrote the Book of Common Prayer.
E tō mato matua I te rangi, kia tapu tō ingoa, kia tai mai tō rangatiratanga.
Aki, 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 āmini.
Ake, 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 āmini.
Ake, 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 amine.
Ake, 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 amine.
Ake, 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 amine.
Kurupiko rea, te atua.
Mahi whakamana.
Kia kaha te reo Māori.
Kia kaha te reo Māori. Kia kaha Aotearoa. Kia ora Aotearoa.
How many times have you been arrested?
Okay, so I've had 21 arrests and 21 suspensions. They tell me I'm the most suspended public servant in the history of the public servant.
Ai tēnā no tātou katoa, ko John Tapu ni tōku ingoa.
I've been involved with kapa haka, well, I guess since I started walking and talking. It's almost, well, I'd like to say 70 odd years, I suppose, yeah.
It's really cool with our sports teams and the international profile that kapa haka receives. That's all good, and how symbolic kapa haka and waiata is to Aotearoa. And through my parents and myself, I've always encouraged that kapa haka is just the waka or the vehicle to access tikanga, reo and bits and pieces. And it's actually a taonga that's unique to all of us, and it's a taonga that can be shared through all of us.
Hei te hiwi ni tonu rā, tēnā tā koutou katoa.
I think it's important for tauiwi or non-Māori to embrace Indigenous rights.
Doesn't mean a lot to me, I'm a New Zealander.
Oh, this is our birthright.
Finding your identity in Aotearoa. It's as controversial as ever.
I think it's become a much more meaningful word.
And there's one word that polarises our Kiwi whanaunga. It doesn't get more hardcore Pākehā than remuera. So here goes.
When I was campaigning for mayor, I said tēnā koe, which means hello. That was too much for some of the ratepayers. And then just a little while ago in this fine city, a short mihi was too much. And the last thing is you've got to act, because there's no good doing nothing. There's no good talking about the rhetoric. There's no good just saying things. Reimagine Aotearoa that we need to value Indigenous thoughts, Indigenous processes, and it is actually right here in your doorstep. That the values of Māoridom, from kaitiakitanga, manaakitanga, aroha, Māuitanga, all those sort of things. And we have an opportunity to be world leaders in a country of caring, which has been shown during March 15, the pandemic, a nation where we can actually build nationhood of inclusion and being great New Zealanders.
We are the blokes from down on the farm, we really know our cheese. There's much better value in Chersdale, it never fails to please. Chersdale slices thinly, never crumbles, there's no waste. And boy, it's got a mighty taste. Chersdale cheese.
Griffins, ginger nuts are so spicy. Made from Old English recipe.
Nō reira ki a tātou katoa, te ata whai o tō tātou ariki o iu kolaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga, ki te wairua tapu, ake, 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 ame.
Wow, that's a recap of everything that we've covered in 2021. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou katoa. A real big shout out to you all for staying the course. most of you from the beginning to today. And those are the many aspects of Taha Māori that you have experienced this year. And I am blessed to have joined in your hikoi, in your journey of Taha Māori, te reo, liturgies, and all the things that you've just seen in that clip. Ko tai mai nei, tātou, I mua o te rā krihimete o te tau rua mano rua tekau mātahi. Tino hari koa taku ngākau ki te tūtaki tātou, I a wiki, I a marama, I roto I te kaupapa Taha Māori. He mihi aroha ki a koutou. Tino kaha o mahi me o tipu te mātauranga. Ngā mihi, he mihi, he mihi. And so we've arrived on the eve of Christmas Day, I roto o te tau 2021. My heart is dancing and is very happy each week and each month as we gather together and shared our whakaro and our kōrero, our blessings, our karakia and our mihi. And your mihi, your mahi or your work, you've shown lots of strength in this year. And I have every confidence that your strength will continue to grow, even post 2021, or certainly post today. And some of you are already applying what you've learned in some of your contexts already. So your mahi has been strong, your work has been strong, and also you have grown in your mātauranga, in your learning, in your knowledge. And I congratulate you all and thank you for joining me. And again, we're in this season of Advent, te wā o te haringa mai in our New Zealand prayer book. And let us continue on. Haere tonu kia Yukiko.
E rangakia o tera. Ka koe ano ia e whakapono ana. Ka whakarite hoki nga mea I korerotia kia ia e te ariki. Te inoi o tera. E te atua pono, e te atua tika kia aritaria mato I te tumanako. Ia mato e tatari nei ki te whakatutu kitanga o tauki taurangi. I roto ia ifu karaiti I tō mato kai whakaroa. Whakarongo ki tenei inoi I runga I tō aroha. Amine.
Amine.
To Cynthia, may I ask a question?
You can.
And normally it's Ihu for yes, Jesus. Goodness, I nearly put
Yes,
it
but
wrong.
Hehu in Catholic.
Ah, yes, I saw it in the song and I thought, thank you.
Apai. Te rongo pai tapu ki te ritinga ruka te kotahi o ngā upoko ka timata toru te kaumā iwa. Nā ka whakatika a Mary I aua rā haere kaika ana ki te whenua puke puke ki tētahi pā o hura. Ka tomo ki te whare o hakaraia ka oha kia ere hāpiti. No te rongonga o eri hāpiti I te oha o Mary. Ka koiri te tamaiti I roto I tōna kōpū. Nā kua ki eri hāpiti I te wairua tapu. He nui tōna reo ki te karanga ka mea. Ka manaki tia koe I roto I ngā wāhine. Ka manaki tia anō te hua o tō kōpū. No hea hoki tēnei kia hau. Kia haere mai te whaia o tōku āriki kia hau. Nā pākau mai te reo o tāu oho ki o kutaringa. Ka oho te tamaiti I tōku kōpū I te hari. Ka koa ano ia e whakapono ana. Ka whakaritia hoki ngā mea I kōrerotia ki aia te ariki. Te rongo pai tēnei te karaiti. Whakamoimititia ia te kupu mana.
Tangi Pere, Tangi Pere, Tangi Pere, Tangi Pere, Pere Amae, Kawensi mai rā, Kawanui te rā, Paka kita mai ngā mokotuna. Tangi Pere, Tangi Pere, Tangi Pere, Tangi Pere, Tangi Amae, Tangi Tangi kori kori ki te ki e.
Diana.
Karakia. Ka tukua ata koutu ki a atua tohu mana koutu I tiaki. Ma ihia hoa koutu I manakia. Ma ihoa e mea kia marama. Tona ko hi nohi ki koutu. Mana ano koutu I atawhai. Ma ihoa hoki I mea kia maara tona mata. Kia ranga ki a koutou. Mana ana I tuku iho ti rangamari. Rangamari e. Kia koutou I runga ti matua kai hoko me ti kai whoka ora. Ene a aki, aki, aki. Amine. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And the blessing of God, Creator, Redeemer, and Giver of life be with you now and forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Nō rātou hoki te rangatiratanga o te rangi, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Ka whakamārie tia hoki rātou, for they will be comforted. Ka riro hoki I a rātou te whenua, for they will inherit the earth. E mākona hoki rātou, for they will be filled. E tohu ngia hoki rātou, for they will receive mercy. E kite hoki rātou I te atua, for they will see God. Ka huaina hoki rātou, he tamariki nā te atua, for they will be called children of God. Nō rātou hoki te rangatiratanga o te rangi, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Ka koa koutou I ngā tāwai rātou I a koutou, I ngā whakatoi, I ngā puaki, I a rātou ngā kupu kino katoa mō koutou, he mea tika, he whakaro kia hau. For your reward is great in heaven.
Tapu te po, te rama rama ana, koinei te po, o te kai whakaora. E au hara,
Tahua te waiata, te kai waiata Ashley, te noa tahua te waiata nei. Now we've got a few more minutes. I'm going to stop the screen and invite, you've all been sitting there listening to me go blah, blah, blah. And so I'm going to invite you, if you like, in these few minutes before we close for the year, to offer any thoughts or a prayer or anything you would like to say. Kōrero mai.
Jacinta, I just want to say really thank you. I think I took all of the Māori course, which I really enjoyed it. But for me personally, the way you invite all of us, really showing that the Māori spirit and culture. And for the first time in my life, I really feel belonging to Te Pakeha, because I really struggled. But now you really show that, yes, we do belong, regardless of race and ethnicity. And that's to me, it's the biggest treasure. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Yukiko. And of course, it is appropriate also to congratulate you for your ordination to the priesthood. He pirihi koe, ai, ho mai te paki. He pirihi koe, tēnei te mihi atu ki a koe, te pononga o te Atua, the servant of God. Ngā mihi nui, tino mahana tēnā koe. My heart is all warm and fluffy. So congratulations to you.
Yes, Cynthia, I would like to say the way that you put the programs together and the wide diversity of views that we got, gained a lot from hearing Bishop Moxon, Bishop John Bluck, from the Kapahaka bits and the Parliament bit, which was very good, and more latterly Ming Foon. I thought that was tremendous. Thank you for putting it all together like that.
Thank you.
And for our participation, but those were gems. Thank you.
Chora.
I like it that it will be online, and my challenge it to for myself to go back and hear some of the Goro that I met. Were not being here all the time, and I'm looking forward to doing that over the holiday.
Good on you.
Vicky. Kia ora, tēnā koe. Yeah, please do. Please play some of those things to your whānau while you're holidaying. Pull out some of those waiata. Pull out your te wiki o te reo. Pull it out and play it on the big TV. You know, those kids will be able to hook you up. Just say, listen, just hook my laptop up, please, or hook your laptop up and go to the Auckland Diocese website, or go to the Taha Māori YouTubes, but do play them. And so your whānau can hear you and see you participating. So I encourage that. Sit with your whānau, especially during the holidays. Yeah. What better thing to do when you're eating your Christmas pudding than to sit down and listen to the Bai Mihi and all your participation.
I certainly plan to go back over it. I've downloaded every session, and I have them all on a USB stick, and I plan to go back, right back to the beginning and go through each one, not all together, but each one, because I think I've come such a long way this year, and it will be good to redo the journey again.
Yes. And I think even recalling some of the thinking, you know, like when we broke out in our groups, you know, in the first series, because we had 7 of them, during Land of the Long White Cloud. So you had an opportunity to sit with others as well and share your views, you know, and the reflection. Although when you came back into the plenary, you gave us sort of bullet points on what was discussed or obviously agreed to talk about. But actually in the rooms, we don't know what you talked about. Only you know that. And so, you know, those are good reflections for you. Were there struggles? Were there like, oh, did people feel inadequate? Did that paralysis set in and going, oh no, you know, I just can't do it. It's too hard, too hard, too hard. You know what I mean? So just those reflections also. And if you share that with your whānau and your friends, tell them how it felt for you. Kia ora.
Cynthia, it was a privilege to be part of this. I learned again that it's not just you can't translate literally in order to get the meaning. There are great differences in the way we see the world as people. We are not just clones of each other. We really feel and think right from the bottom very differently. But I also learned that we all belong to the same whānau, and that is whangait, and that is beautiful. I'm very obviously not, you know, Māori, but I feel because of your love, I feel I belong, despite the differences, despite the language problems, and that I'm a bit too old for words to stick easily. But that is not not an issue, because actually communication happens in many, many ways. If words fail you, you can communicate non-verbally. And that probably says more about love than anything else. In fact, you can't lie with your non-verbal communication. What you communicated with your face and with your attitude spoke volumes about your desire to connect us all and make us all feel as if we belong to the same family, the same tribe. God tribe, and that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. And of course, you know, you go out and ruia. You know, ruia is to scatter the seed. Ruia, to scatter the seed. So again, the whole idea of Taha Māori is it doesn't actually sit with just you. Now you go out, and here's a good time, because we're all going to have a bit of a break in January particularly, and here's a good time to sit down with whānau and just tell them about your journey, tell them about your hiko, and like, oh gosh, when I started in March, oh my gosh, you know, and you know, and if it was me that made you feel comfortable about being called Pākehā, or if it was me that made you feel comfortable about those really confronting issues that we had in Land of the Long White Cloud and in Parliament and in Tameiti. You know, I mean, I showed a side to Tameiti that people don't know. They don't know about Tameiti. He's a really lovely man. But they only know him as like, but you see what he said just there, we all have mana. We all have it, and no one can take it away from us. You know, I mean, that's really, really strong stuff. Yeah, so ruia, ngā seeds with others. It's certainly been a pleasure, real pleasure. Oh, sorry, Maxwell. Yeah.
To Cynthia, earlier this year, Gillian and I took a holiday down in Taranaki, and we witnessed some pretty disgusting history. And this course, I came away wanting a desire to understand more of our culture. That's what Monica was talking about. And this course has been very helpful. And I'd just like to say, well done.
Ka pai. Ka pai.
Thank you.
Anna.
You're staying the course and staying with us, you know, all the way from beginning to end is testament to all of our work. We, you know, I have learned just as much as you have. You know, there's that mutual reciprocity, and that mutual respect of each other. And So this is, you certainly won't get a course like this in the university. I can say that categorically. The university will not deliver you what we've had this year. No way, because they just don't do it. And I think that's the beauty of technology, I suppose, and the way and the loving way in which we come together as a whānau. We are the whānau of o te karaiti. We all share a common goal. We love God, we follow Jesus, and we're moved by the Holy Spirit. We all share that. And so why not, find more commonalities in our sharing. But it has been an honour. And of course, I'm not sure if Megan would like to say something, but I certainly couldn't have done it without Megan. I do want to mihi to you, Megan. And I won't make it too much because I know you'll only growl me afterwards. But
I'll cut this out.
Perhaps I'll just let you say something and then I'll come back.
Oh, well, I've really enjoyed it. I have, looking on my own journey, it's really something. To look at all that reflection, those clips you all put together, I was thinking, did we really do that? Is that this year? I know I'd done it, but it was sort of, I'm sure some of that was last year. So a big amount. And I suppose last night I was at a ministry unit and was taking them through a PowerPoint that Cynthia had presented to them. And I was reading it through and thought how much I have improved on my pronunciation with confidence. And then I heard some of the team members and I thought, I was once there. And so now the challenge is, how do we inspire people to intentionally want to learn te reo? And because if people don't want to learn it, they don't want to learn it. Regardless of whether there's a standing resolution or not, that doesn't figure in it for them. It's sort of, how do we want them to actually be able to share some of this liturgy in the services now? So that's my latest challenge, realizing that I've really improved. Cynthia, we didn't, this year, even last year, we didn't know where this was going. This Taha Māori, we just paired up and thought we'll give it a go. We've got nothing to lose. We've got no restrictions within local shared ministry, and we just went for it. So everything you've given has been magnificent, and you've created it and carried us all through and kept us interested. So thank you for that. I'm sure there's still other topics that we can talk about and kōrero on. But yeah, really enjoyed it, and you've improved my skills immensely. So thank you, e hoa. Kia ora.
Oh, kia ora, Megan. Yes, it has been truly, it's been a wonderful hikoi with you and with Megan. And as Megan has said, we started with, and that's where it starts. It starts with the little old mustard seed. There's a theology in everything that we do, and so it was a mustard seed, and it started off, shall we just learn the liturgies? And last year we did. We only concentrated on the liturgies. We didn't do Land of the Long White Cloud, and we didn't do the parliamentary stuff. We didn't do any of that, ihu mātou. But this year it was more around taha, as I said, is to walk alongside each other. Taha is to be beside each other, not one on top of another. And that's not how I've wanted to present the program. And that gave you an insight into te ao Māori. And I think when we are thinking about liturgies, for instance, and Bishop George talked about that in that little snippet, it's not actually about being literal. And there is a constant pressure for Māori to translate literally, but we just don't. We can't. Yeah. I can't do it. I have to tell the story. And often the story, you wish that you could actually include it, but include it in various formats. But yeah, it's been a real pleasure, and thank you. It's been a blessing and honor to share it with you. So if no one else has anything to add, I'll close with, if we all sing, leave yourself unmuted, rather than me play a song. And you all know this waiata, and you know it well. I do this publicly too. And people go, oh no, what you gonna do? So all you have to, it talks about the 3 things in the Bible that speaks to us: hope, faith, and the most important of these is love. So you just need to repeat after me. E toru ngā mea, ngā mea nunui, e ki ana, te pai pera, whakapono, tūmanako, o te mea nui, o te aroha, There are 3 things that the Bible tells us, 3 big things that the Bible tells us, and they are faith, hope, and the most important of these is aroha. Nō reira, koutou mā, tātou mā, tēnā tātou katoa.